Hello everyone, thank you for joining me today. You reached Business Essential Musings. This is it is my channel, YouTube channel, where I expose everything Business Essential. Of course, from the perspective of a developer. I've been a developer with AL and CAL for about 10 years, and while until this year I mostly wrote and had videos focused on technical aspects. Recently I am planning to and I'm planning to delve more into more aspects than just technical. For example, user tips, business essential user tips, or processes in Business Central, functional aspects basically. And yeah, I think first of all I want to thank everyone that joined my channel in the last week. I had slightly more subscribers than previous weeks. Thank you for joining my channel. I think it's a smart thing to join my channel because I am exposing everything Business Central from a developer standpoint and a teacher standpoint. I used to teach not necessarily computer science or Business Central, but I have background in teaching, so I know how to explain a topic from the ground up. Of course, this is coming from a developer. I'm sure other professionals that are in adjacent areas, not developers, but for example, functional consultants, they would have tricks and tips under their sleeve that they use, and I don't know about them. But my channel is open to everyone for critique. I'm here to learn as well, not just to teach. With that said, today's topic is discounts, and discounts can be based on agreements we have with customers or with vendors. So, for example, if your company pays Microsoft for subscription and for licenses, you might have agreements with people where you buy the merchandise from, or businesses where you buy the merchandise from. So you have your vendors, and you can have agreements. If you buy a thousand chairs, you might get a better price. Or if you're ordering from a vendor something that's above 100,000, you might get a discount for that order or that invoice. The same is with customers. With your customers, you might offer them a discount if they buy in bulk from you, or if their invoice reaches or exceeds a certain amount, or if they make the payment to you in certain conditions, like in 5 days from the merchandise receipt. So yeah, this is what I'm planning to go through. We're going to go through some setups on how to prepare the system to deal with discounts, and then we're going to go through an example, and we're going to do some analysis at the end of what the system did. And yeah, that is the topic for today, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Let's get going. We have here a Kronos database. It's based on I think it's on a 23.5 platform. So the topic is discounts, but discounts can be applied on sales part of the system, and on the purchases part of the system. This video is about the procurement process. Therefore, everything that follows next is going to be related to vendors, purchase orders, or invoices. When we talk about the setup of the discounts, we need to touch three areas of Business Central. One is general posting setup. Second is the purchase and payable setup, and third is at the vendor level. We have a few setups at the vendor level. So let's look at general posting setup. General posting setup in Dynamics 365 Business Central is a crucial feature that defines how financial transactions are recorded in the general ledger entries. You see here a lot of general ledger accounts. It plays a foundational role in the system's financial management, ensuring that transactions across various business operations are correctly and consistently posted to the appropriate general ledger account. We see two columns here, the general business posting group and the general product posting group, and we see almost like a Cartesian product of the two sets, and for each entry or each combination of the two fields, we see the other fields here are different aspects of the posting. For example, if we talk about discounting, we have two fields here for the sales discounting, sales line discounting account, and sales invoice discount account. So we can have discounts at the level of lines and at the level of the invoice. Same thing with purchase invoices. We have discount at the purchase line level and discount at the purchase invoice level. And in this case, they just match. The same account is going to be used for both types of discounting. So general business posting involves mapping business transactions to general ledgers, as we saw, by taking in consideration those two fields, the general business posting group and general product posting group. And that is the one area that we need to have set up in the general posting setup. And the discounts fields are the ones I highlighted previously. These two for purchase lines and these two for sales lines. The next setup area is the purchase and payables. We have here a few fields, the discount posting, and we have the calculate invoice discount and the calculate invoice discount per tax ID. The discount posting, if we enlarge this field and read the tooltip, it can have different values: no discounts, invoice discounts, line discounts, or all discounts. In my case, I have all discounts. The invoice discount and invoice amount are posted simultaneously. In the case of the invoice discounts, based on the purchase invoice discount account field in the general posting setup. We saw the general posting setup. We saw the two fields that decide where the invoice discount or the line discount are posted. The line discounts value for this field, it decides if the line discount and the invoice amount will be posted simultaneously, based on the line discount account from the general posting setup. All discounts, it just means that the invoice and the line discount and the invoice amount will be posted simultaneously based on the purchase invoice discount account and the purchase line discount account. The next field here is calculate invoice discount. If it's turned on, the invoice for the discount for the invoice is calculated at the time when we fill up the invoice. So it's calculated at runtime and displayed on the purchase order or on the purchase invoice. And this one is turned off in my system, but the invoice can be, the discount for the invoice can be calculated per tax ID, and that depends on the value set up in the tax posting setup. So this is the second area where we need to define the discounting. The third part of the setup is in vendors, for each vendor. If we look at the first one, we have again 3 areas that we can define. We can define under prices and discounts, we have the line discounts, and if we look here, what we have as an example, we have for vendor 10,000, we have an item, and if we order more than 10, item number 1900, which is a guest chair, we get a line discount for the item 1900S of 2% if we order more than 10, more or equal to 10. The second area on the vendor card is under related purchases invoice discounts, and the invoice discount can be calculated per currency. So if our invoice is in US dollars, no value here means it's going to take the local currency, which in my case is the US dollar. If the invoice total is more than $10,000, we will get a discount of 5%. There is also the possibility of setting up a service charge. We also have a line for invoices set up in Canadian currency. If it's more than 10,000 Canadian dollars, we will get a 2% discount. And the third area where you can set up discounts is on the payment terms code. Which, if we look here, 1M8D means the due date for payment is 1 month from the document date, and we're gonna calculate a discount and receive a discount from the vendor if we send the payment to them within 8 days from the document date. So if the document date is 1st of March and we're sending the payment to the vendor on the up to 8th of March, we're gonna get as part of posting the invoice, of posting the payment, we're gonna get 2% discount. And yes, this is part of setting up discounts for purchases. General posting setup, payables, purchase and payables, and the vendor card. Let's move next into a quick demo. Now that we set up the vendor 10,000 Fabricam with the invoice discount, invoice line discount, and payment terms discount, let's create one new purchase invoice and see how this discounting works. So from new document, click on purchase invoice, The purchase invoice is already populated with the vendor information. We just need to type in some information about the vendor invoice number if we have it available, and let's populate the lines. So I'm gonna put here 1928. Yes, first. This is one of the items. There was no discount for it. We do need to have to get to the 10,000, so we're gonna put this item that has no discount set up for 1928, and then let's choose the one I know we had a discount set up, 19S, which was the chair black, and let's put here also 10. And you can see already, because we ordered at least 10, we can see the line discount calculated already $30.06. And let's take one more, because right now we're only at $2,000. Let's take 1896 S, and let's make it closer to 10,000. If we put 11, the quantity, we can see already we're over 10,000, and we can see here that the system calculated an invoice discount at the level of the invoice of $524.43. Yeah, and we've got 5% discount. Without discount, the total is 10,488. The discount is 524. Therefore, the total excluding tax and with the discount subtracted is gonna be $9,964.21. If we try to preview the posting, we also have sales. So let's remove the sales tax. So instead of tax group code furniture, let's make it non-taxable, and then F8, and let's try it again. Preview posting. We've got less number of GL entries. 10,700 is the inventory. Then we have in 2200, if you remember from the general posting setup, this was the purchase discount account, 2200, and it shows here $554.49. So the accounts payable is the 10,518 minus 554, which goes to the discount, and this is increasing the inventory. This is increasing the purchase discounts account, and also this is increasing the accounts payable account. So that's how the GL distribution is going to be. And then on the vendor ledger entries, we see the invoice, and at some point here we're gonna see the discount, which is we don't see the discount yet, but if we zoom, we see the invoice discount of 524 and 43 cents. There is also discount possible amount 199.28. This would be a 2% if we pay in time. Let's see here. Yeah, because +8 is 7th of April. I believe the posting date is it's probably the 30th, but let's make sure. Yeah, the 30th of March +8 days we get into the payment discount date for calculating the discount when we apply the payment. So one more time, let's review the posting that's going to happen. We have all the direct cost, value entry posting in the inventory account, and then we have the inventory for 10,500, which is the total amount of the invoice. We have the discount here in the purchase discounts of 554.49, which is made by 524, which was at the invoice level, plus 30, which was at the line level, so altogether 554. And then this is the accounts payable. This is what's left for us to pay, is the payables, is what goes under the vendor, what we owe to the vendor in accounts payable, because this is the accounts payable account. Vendor ledger entry, we saw it. Item ledger entry, let's have a look. We have purchase receipt, 3 lines, because we're receiving in the warehouse, in our warehouse, 10, 10, 11, and each one comes with its own value entry. We don't see it from here, but we could see it in here. We see the costs here. Cost amount expected is 0 because we didn't really receive it yet. Cost posted to GL are these amounts. And this is it. I think we're ready to post. One more time, 524 at the invoice level. We've got $30 here for the line level because we had a line discount set up, and that should be it. Let's post. And again, we can see the entries here from the posted invoice, trigger from the posted invoice. We see again the GL entries. Let's order them in the order of the entry number. I like to see them like that. So we see the basically the value entries posting, and we see the total, the discount, and the payables. And then we see the vendor ledger entry. This is the possible discount. We also see the invoice discount here, 524. And now with this posted, we are ready to, there is only one detailed vendor ledger, which is the initial entry for the amount we owe the vendor, and we saw the value entries while we preview the posting. Now let's go to the ledger entries of this vendor, which are under vendor, maybe ledger entries, and we see this test YouTube the last entry. We see the remaining discount possible, and we can see in the, if we zoom on the record, we see also the invoice discount. The easiest way to create a payment for this invoice is using this action, create payment, and we can leave these defaults or paying it the same date as we created the posted invoice, so that we can capture the discount of the payment. And if we look here at apply entries, we see we applied it, or the system already applied it against the invoice. There is a payment discount amount here, which we expected because we're trying to pay it right away, so that we can capture the payment terms discount calculation if we are within 8 days. And that looks good. What else? The next thing that has to happen is we're going to cut the check and send the check to the vendor. So we set up the payment method code check, and I think we also need to bank account, checking this looks good. I think it looks good. We go to check, print check, and print. We see the discount here, and that's why the total amount of the check is $9,764 instead of $9,964. $200 is the discount, and we print the check, we put it in the envelope, we send it to the vendor, and internally here we can in nav in BC we can post this transaction, the payment, and if we preview it, let's preview it because we don't want to mess up things. We see here the total amount, which is basically going to cover the accounts payable. 2100 is the accounts payable. We also see 2200, which we know is the purchase discounts account of 199, and we also see the bank, our bank checking account. We're crediting the checking account with the difference 9,764. We cover the payables from the invoice because we were owing 9,964. So that was a credit. The invoice was a credit. Now we're debiting. So this is the offset, and this is just another credit to the payables discount or purchase discounts, and this is a credit of the checking account of the bank. We're happy with the way it looks like, and let's do it for real. Post. Yes. Okay. Now let's go back to our vendor. And if we refresh, okay, let's refresh. We should see now both transactions, the payment and let's open order by entry number. So we see the payment of 9,764. Remaining amount is 0 on both the invoice and the payment. If we look here, we zoom into the invoice and type discount here. We see the invoice discount, and we also see this field, payment discount received $199. And this is it. We created an invoice and we paid it, and we saw how the two transactions recorded the invoice. There is nothing on the payment transaction, obviously, but we do see the invoices discounts received, invoice discount, and also the payment discount received on the invoice vendor ledger entry. The last thing I would probably look at, if we look at the chart of accounts, and if we filter, by date filter 3/30/2024, we should see here the one we just had, the invoices, the two invoices. The invoice discount was $554 because it was $524 for the invoice and $30 on the line. So altogether they are posted together. Remember, we chose in the general posting setup all all discounts for the first field on the general posting setup. No, on the purchasing and payable setup, we had the first field, the purchase discount set up to all discounts, so they are all posted together, 554 and at the same time, and 199 is when we posted the payment. And this is it. This was the demo. So we discussed about discounts in Business Central today, especially from the point of view of procurement. We looked at the setup and we ran through a test. If you want, you can read my blog post. It's on the same topic with a little bit more details and with more explanations. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.